Welcome to Early Bird Picker. My name is Rafa. I'm a reseller. I hope that Q4 is going really well for you guys. I know my Q4 is going pretty good. I haven't been making as many videos because I've been really focusing on trying to get more things listed and making the most out of the last month of Q4. And so as we're heading up toward Christmas, just hope things are going really well for you guys. Today is a sold video, just a few things sold, so let's get them. Sold. This is another one of those bug assault fly killer. Basically, it shoots salt. It's a salt gun, and it kills the fly without splattering it. It's just I don't know. These seem to be really, really popular. I think this is actually like the third one of these I've sold, so they're actually fairly common to find. Like the third one that's sold in the last 2 years, so like I consider that pretty common for something that before becoming a reseller, I had definitely never seen one of these things before. I paid just $12 for this at an estate sale. I was willing to pay up for a little bit for it because I know that they do sell through really well and sell pretty fast. Sold for $34 plus shipping on eBay. I heard that they're changing the packaging, so you can't do this, but I have some of the old boxes. I've got a 1092 box and let's see, a 1095 box. These kind of just telescope together, making it really perfect for shipping something that's long and kind of skinny like this. What I'm most known for reselling, what my specialty is reselling high-end running shoes. And so now that I'm full-time, I've got quite a bit of inventory, and I started to have a little bit of trouble when I was going to find my shoes because I didn't have an inventory system set up. And so instead of doing like box A, box B, what I did was I arranged my shoes by like Nike, Saucony, New Balance, Brooks, Hoka, shoes that like I had several pair of. I made basically their own box, or I combined boxes. But basically now, if I'm going to find like a Nike shoe, which this next sale is, I have a box that has just Nike in it, and so it makes it so much easier. So if you're getting into shoes, I really recommend doing that from the get-go, is doing some type of like alphabetical order by brand. That's what I found is working really well for me, and it makes it just so much less of a headache whenever I go to have a sale, because the last thing you want is to have something sell and then to think, oh, I don't want to have to look for that. That's what I was running into, and so I'm so much happier now that I've organized my shoes by brands. So here's my Nike box. Sold. This is the Nike Zoom all-out Flyknit in pretty good overall condition. Kind of paid up for these. I paid $10 for these. My most recent like big sourcing, I went to the flea market for the very first time, and I paid $10 for these. They sold for $29 plus shipping overnight on eBay. Next up, we're in the Brooks box. Brooks and other brands. Sold. You can see I paid just $3 for these at a thrift store. This was for my trip to Arkansas to go sourcing. This is the Brooks Glycerin 14. The Brooks Glycerin is a specialty running shoe and is a top tier 1 running shoe. Basically, I mean, it's the top of their game for neutral running. It's the pretty much most expensive Brooks running shoe you can buy that's neutral. I paid just $3 for this, and I would say it's in very good condition. You can see the upper is in really nice condition. The midsole's in nice condition. The outsole is in really nice condition. Lots of tread left on the outsole. But this shoe, even though it looks like it's so new, basically it is the model 14. The current model is the 19. So that means this is about a 5-year-old shoe, and so that really hurts running shoes. The older they are, whenever you're picking up running shoes, you can't just look at the brand. You definitely have to look at the age of the shoe, because that really impacts the sell-through. These only sold for $15 despite how good a condition and how good of a shoe they were to begin with. On top of that, they were a women's narrow. You just don't find too many women that have a true narrow foot, a 2A foot, that often anymore, and so that hurt the sell-through as well on this shoe. And so I'm still making profit on it, but I was really excited when I found it because they're just in such great condition. I'm just not getting quite as much as I'd hoped for out of these shoes. Sold. You can see we've got the Nerf Thunderstorm Super Soaker. It is tested and working. Overall nice condition, nothing wrong with it. I don't remember what I paid for this at likely a garage sale, but whenever I see Super Soakers, I just nearly always pick them up. A lot of Super Soakers can have really good value. If you find some of the ones that are really old ones, they can go for like $75 and up. I've seen some of those ones from early 2000s or the 90s go for quite a bit of money. This one's not quite as old. Let's see what the age on this one is. This Super Soaker is only from 2010, and so not quite as old, so not commanding quite as much money. Like I said, I probably paid $1 or $2 for this, and it got $14 plus shipping on eBay. At first, it seemed odd to me to sell a Super Soaker in the middle of December, but I have to remember I live in Oklahoma where it does get pretty cold in the wintertime. But there's other places, I guess, maybe like Florida or California, where year round you could just have a good time playing water guns in the wintertime. Or maybe they're buying this in off season just at a better deal, because if this were summertime, I'd likely get a little bit more money for the Super Soaker. The Super Soaker is actually going to Denver, Colorado. So maybe on the other hand, they're planning on doing that thing where you get like almost boiling hot water, and then in the wintertime shoot your Super Soaker into the air and like shoots out ice. I've tried to do that in the past and it hasn't worked. I think it just doesn't get cold enough here, but maybe that's the case in Colorado. Sold. This is a definitely vintage 1955 squeaker toy by the Sun Rubber Co. Little Lamb. You can see mine's not in great condition. It has some kind of like, it's got a stain right there. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. A little bit of staining on the back. I only had probably about $2 into this and it only sold for $7. I got this at an estate sale that I went to that I did get it on film, but the footage is just so dark I didn't end up putting out that video. But anyway, whenever I'm at an estate sale that's super crowded, sometimes I make the mistake, probably just like maybe you, is that you're going so fast, you look at just like what things have sold for and maybe not the sell-through price, or maybe not a thorough search of the sold prices. And so whenever I looked this up at the estate sale, I saw that it was going for like $35 to $40 in some instances. But then whenever I got home and looked at it further, most of them were selling for between like 10 and 15. And with mine having the stains on it, I just asked 7 for mine, and it sold pretty quick within less than a week. So definitely not huge profit on this one, but I do love selling vintage toys and just vintage stuff in general. And so sometimes I just sell stuff just because I enjoy it. This was super simple, very small, not a big deal to do the photos and listings of. But anyway, not making as much money as I'd hoped for on that one either. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Early Bird Picker. I really hope that you guys are having a great Q4 and just a good holiday season in general. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks again, and as always, I'll see all y'all on the next video.